Hello everyone, welcome back to a brand new video, another league race video of course, here at the Nürburgring this time. So this is, I believe, the penultimate round of this season. We're going to hop straight into our fastest lap here, in qualifying here, and yeah, I'll be honest, the car did not feel great this around this track, to be honest. I just don't think it really, I don't know, doesn't really have the top end for the straights, and the grip sort of mid-corner compared to, like, say, the Ferrari, the McLaren, just doesn't really compare in this car. So yeah, we're gonna have to fight on though, struggle on, and see what we can gain out of it, because there could always be carnage. But anyway, on our quickest lap, you can see we've done a 55.9 as our best, and we are about 10th and a bit up, losing a little bit of time on the right hander there before the hairpin. But yeah, down into the hairpin, we're about equaling our best lap here, using the road sort of the opposite to Kailami of the last video, of the first corner. Actually, the cam goes in towards the apex rather than away from it, so actually helps you carry much more speed in that corner. Does make it a little bit more difficult to overtake there though, unfortunately. But, you know, there's always other places on the track, such as into that braking zone, through these chicane, fast mid-speed corner chicane corners. But we're about 2 tenths up. We had a good exit out of that right-hander onto this straight, so we've been gaining time all along here, taking the inside curves, shortest run to the braking zone, about in between the 100 and the 50 metre balls, about 75 metres. In this car, another perk, you can use lots and lots of curb at that chicane, which is really going to help us out, because I believe we are the quickest car through that chicane. But you can see we lose a little bit of time. We're about 3 tenths up, and then we're back down to a 10th up. We do a 55.8, so optimum I reckon could have been about 55.6. But yeah, that was all we could muster up, and it actually leaves us 7th place. So a really poor qualifying there. Just not on the pace at all. You can see 54.4 from Marmolotto, and Luke only a 10th and a bit behind that, and MX Bloxham, he's only a tiny bit away from Luke. But we're going to go for the start here and see what we can conjure up from 7th on the grid. Getting a better start than Harry on the left there in the Ferrari, and Jetpack and Nebula, we're going to try and follow him in the Audi and see what we can do. You can see it's 3 wide already into the hairpin. This is going to bunch up. I thought, oh yeah, there's a gap on the inside, I'll go for that. Ends up not really working in my favour, as I don't get a great exit, and I'm on the outside here, so I sort of have to just give up that position. But that would end up going in my favour, as JDM goes for the inside and misjudges the braking zone, hits MX and a load of other cars, and it's like Moses helped me out there. The seas of cars just parted in front of me, and we are promoted into 2nd place. So we've gone from 7th to 2nd in about 4 corners. Insane. So yeah, that really helped me out. But you can see I've not run away from the pack, unfortunately. Jetpack and Nebula and Dean and Kaiser are only about 2nd behind me, so I've got to run away quickly on this first lap if I want any chance of keeping the 2nd position. Into the hairpin then, you see Nebula actually makes a little bit of a mistake, gets a decent exit though, but we can gain a couple of tenths on him through that hairpin. You can see Marma already in the Lexus just running away, another car that was much better than mine for this round, unfortunately. So it's all about damage limitation, and so far this damage limitation is looking pretty good. If we can get a 2nd place here, that would be awesome, really good. And because it's an endurance round, so 1 hour 25 minute race, we get 40 points if you win, and I believe it's 32 for 2nd. So if we can stay here for the rest of another hour and 23 minutes, we will get 32 points over our championship rivals. But yeah, on the first lap here, through the chicane, that is going to be a crucial point in this lap, because it can very easily kick you off into the grass on the left hand side if you get that wrong, especially for some of the cars that run a bit lower than this. But yeah, you can see about a lap into the race, you can see the pressure's already on my left hand side, climbing up a little bit, and you can see Nebula has a burst of speed here. You can see already the poorness of my car is coming in. You can see I sort of thought he was going to go for a big move there, or was even going to hit me, so I sort of jinked out of the way. But that actually leaves him on the inside, so whether he dummied me or did like a fake move on me, well, it's worked for him because he now has the inside for the tight right hand hairpin, and I thought, okay, I'm unlikely, unless I can get a switchback here, which unfortunately I do not have the grip for, I'm just going to follow Jetpack Nebula here, and hopefully he can drag me along to Mama, who is out in charge in this race, about 4.5 seconds ahead of me. So you can see already, look how much more grip the Audi has in front of me through that slow speed section there. So really just struggling generally for rotation. I don't know whether it was just the setup or anything else. You can see Kaiser gets a stop go. We're not really racing him at this point. And at the halfway point, Jetpack Nebula goes into pit lane. So we're back up into second by pit stops. Nothing really happened for about 40 minutes really. I was just losing a little bit of time to Nebula, but he goes into pit lane anyway. Marmot is 19 seconds, so in 40 minutes he's probably gained about half a second a lap on me each lap. So, or even nearer to a second to be honest. We're going to go in for our pit stop a lap or two later, as those pressures are getting really high. You can see I'm 28.2 on the left front, so it was pretty hot conditions and the tyres on this big heavy Bentley were not liking it. But I had absolutely no idea where the pit line actually was here, and it turns out it was the last one, because somebody took out the board when they went into the pits. So yeah, not a great entry to the pit lane there, but can we stop on our jacks? We do stop in the box. Do we go straight up? Yes, we do. So we've got that pretty good for most of the season. A 30-second pit stop converted to a 3 via magic editing as usual. And we come out into 6th place. But we still have Dean, JDM, Luke and Mama still to pit. So this is not really where our car sits. We're not actually going to be 6th. When everyone has pitted, we should be around about 3rd place if I can get it right. Yeah, just keeping it nice and easy. So you actually take loads of curb on the inside, and I was worried I was going to get a track cut there, so let off the throttle a little bit. But once the tyres are up to temperature, the car feels okay. I mean, to me, it didn't feel like bad to drive. It was just slow. I just wasn't on the pace, or the car wasn't on the pace. I'm going to blame the car because I'm a racing driver, but it was probably me. So into the hairpin then, again using the camber of the track, and you can see how much speed we can carry. An apex speed of about 70 miles an hour even on a hairpin is pretty high. But yeah, JJM goes in for his pit stop. Mama and Jetpacker have made their pit stops, and we are again into 3rd position. So where we were before the pit stops. But Luke has actually gained on us quite a bit. He is 10 seconds behind. But you're going to see in this last half an hour of the race the pace difference between this car and the McLaren, because by the end of the race it's going to get pretty damn close. That McLaren seemed to have much better tyre life than me, much better pace than me, and you could see just 5 minutes later he's already got that about 9-second gap already down to almost 8. So he is gaining all the time. My laps weren't too bad. I was doing low 56s and high 55s, but the tyres are just going to sort of go off a cliff. You can see that front left again. I just couldn't really, as much as I dealt with the pressures and setting up the car, I just couldn't get those left tyres to come down. But crucially, Jetpack Nebula has got a drive-through, presumably for track limits, so that is actually going to promote us into 2nd place. So we're going to get our 2nd place back from the start, and unfortunately here he actually disconnects and leaves because he knows that once he serves that drive-through he's unlikely to come out into any good position really. He's likely to come up about 5th and 6th. So fair enough, but you know, it's always nicer to have more races than 7 of us, but that's the way it goes. We'll have lives, so yeah, Big C is off on the left there and he will disconnect just now. So yeah, but it doesn't mean that this race is not going to be interesting, because we've got Luke 8 seconds behind us with 26 minutes to go. That's quite a long time for me to hold on here. I've been in this situation once or twice before in other games, but and in other races, but it's never a nice feeling when someone is slowly chipping away and catching you all the time. You can see with a minute to go here, he's actually right on me, so he's gained 8 seconds in about 20 minutes. It just shows the lack of pace. My last lap was at 56.8, so we're nearing the 57 mark now. You can see Luke behind us. It's probably going to be one more lap after this, just because how far out Marma is out in front. But can we hold on? Can we defend from that beautiful golf liveried McLaren that Luke is driving? Let's see what we can do. So into the fast chicane bit here in the middle sector, rounding out near the end of the lap. You can just see how the McLaren actually grips through those corners. I'm going to break the toe here, I'm going to go to the right and then go back to the left here to take the normal racing line. And that gives me a slight bit of breathing room there as he doesn't quite follow. So we're not under attack into the chicane. It's not really a great place to go for a move, but you can just see how much more speed the Macca on his tyres can carry compared to me. One more lap to go then, 15 seconds on the clock. That is going to tick down to 0 very shortly. Can we defend for one more lap? That's all we have to do. One more lap is all we have to defend for. Into the hairpin, parking it on the apex, not getting a great exit though, actually running outside the white line. So got to be careful of that. Luckily no time gained. But Luke has gained out of that. So we're going to need to do our best defensive masterclass, and that is not it. Make a mistake on the slow left-hander. Luke almost gets up the inside, but I close the door and he's unable to get through on the next right. But you can see he's 0.2 of a second behind, much closer than he was before. Going on to this lap, you can see almost having a look for the move through the left. Can't go there through there, mate. But in the right, we get a decent exit down towards the hairpin. We might have to cover this off. You can see we're going to try and break the toe again, and Luke doesn't quite follow, so that's going to give us a bit of breathing room. Maybe getting a tenth out of that. We go deep though into the hairpin, but we're going to go for the rocket ship exit, and that seems to work for us. We've gained maybe a tenth or two there just by parking on the apex again. Through the Schumacher S, lovely bit of track this, fast flowing, but the Macca is quicker there. So into another fast chicane, slightly slower than the Schumacher S, but still lots of speed needed to be carried, and it's going to come down to this last chicane. Marma's finished the race. It's just the fight for second now between me and Luke. Again, I'm breaking the toe, giving myself a little bit of breathing room down the straight because the Macca is quicker. Into the chicane, braking on a normal braking point. Can't go for it there, he's not alongside, so it would be silly to go for a move. But he is going to get extremely close under braking into the final corner. We're going to park it on the apex, and we're just about going to hold on to get a very surprising second out of that. So good race there with Luke, and some good points. We get 32 points out of that. But yeah, that is the standing, guys. I hope you all have enjoyed that video. If you have, like, subscribe, and we've got the final round at Catalunya left to go, so make sure you join me for that one. See you on the next video. Goodbye.